What's up, guys? Tucker Singer here. That's Nest Smithing. Today is our 100th episode, and let's get talking about a special project. Alrighty, guys, so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to take this wrench, and we're going to try to forge it into a snake for our 100th episode. The plan for how we're going to be doing that is we're going to take the body of the wrench here, we're going to draw it out into a long taper and stuff. Then this will be the head of the snake up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the bottom jaw a bit, get over here and start forging this down to get it wider. And then what we're going to do is we're going to split the very end of it and kind of curl her down to be some fangs. And we are probably going to forge down this bottom bit here just to make the bottom jaw a little bit wider. So that way it looks good, and then possibly curl up the body or have it just sitting up like arced, like it's gonna strike. But that's the plan. Let's get at it, guys. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start drawing her out over the horn here. We're gonna leave this bit alone. Eventually I'm gonna cut it off, but I'm just gonna keep it on there so I can hold it with the tongs a bit better. Alright, we lost all our heat anyway, so we're going back for another heat. Alrighty, guys, so I started getting it drawn down a good bit of the way over the horn. I like the horn because it's just a quick way to move a lot of material. As you can see, it leaves very rough forgings. The bar gets kind of twisted and bent, but you just have to do a little cleanup on it and then it's good. I'll probably do most of the rest here on the face of the anvil. I'm leaving a good bit of this end alone for now. Like I said, I'm going to try to forge this into like a snake, or I'm thinking maybe try to forge it into a cobra, like get this bit back here and forge it out like the hood of a cobra. But that's up in the air right now. It just depends how this goes, forging it out. So let's get back at it. We're just going to work on refining our body a bit more, make this more like a actual snake tail. And once we get that to a pretty decent point, we'll flip her around and start working on this end. Alright, we got most of the body drawn down to kind of where I want it. Next thing we're going to do is start forging down the corners over it all. Kind of round it up. I'm going to try to leave the bottom section of it flat-ish, so that way it'll sit a bit better where it's wider here. Whenever we round it, our end of our tail here is going to narrow up a bit more. And then we're going to flip it around, work on forging out the hood and the head. So we got the majority of the body forged here. Usually whenever I go from like the square to round, I'll take a lot of extra time to planish it and take out all those hammer marks that you might be able to see here on the camera. Yeah, but I think I'm just going to leave the hammer marks in on this, and that could be a sort of easy way to have a representation of some scales for the snake's body and stuff. Next thing we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead, flip her around, start forging down this section here for the hood. Open up the jaws here and start forging up the head. First things first here, we're going to go ahead and attempt to open up these jaws a little bit. Alright, so I'm just going to open up this bottom jaw here best I can, get it out of the way for whenever I got to forge on that top one. Starting to open her up some. If I didn't have to work with the tongs, this would be a lot easier, but it's still really warm. Alright, we started getting the jaws opened up. So we're just going to forge this one all the way down straight, so that way we can forge the top half of our head and the hood easier without it being in the way. You opening this up a bit here. Almost all the way opened up. Just going to adjust the tongs a bit. There we go. And that's what we're looking for. And put this forge itself back down a bit here. We need this to be still semi-straight. Alright, that should be good enough for what we need to do. Next thing we're going to do here is start forging down our head here, get some width, and then once we get that done, we'll go ahead and start forging down the hood, and then we'll get into doing some of the chisel work and stuff. Alright, the process you're seeing me do right now, whenever I'm forging back on that top jaw piece, it's got a long skinny body to it because of the way the wrenches are. They got a thin taper to them, and if it was a bigger wrench I wouldn't have to worry so much about it, but it is a wrench that's a little bit on the small side for the size of the head I want. So what I'm doing is I forged down in this jaw here to try to push most of the material here in the middle up towards the back part, and that just extended it. Now what I'm going to do is upsetting it by forging this back in on itself and gathering more metal back into this width. So I'm taking all this mess here and pushing it up to in here. That will end up being the top half of the head. Kind of forged down a bit. You know, I might try to stretch her out a little bit more, just to get it a bit wider. And then this very tip bit here, this swelled up part, I'm going to forge it out. And then we're going to take a hot cut chisel and split it and curl it down in, and those will be the fangs. Do is just going to go ahead, take the next heat, we're going to go ahead, come in with chisel, and go ahead and split just that end bit right there. Actually, might be able to do it right now. Right like that. Looks pretty central to me. A little long there. Come up a bit. It'll start walking back. Put another heat. We got everything marked up. Now what we're going to do here for the next heat, sit it down like this, go ahead and put our chisel in and just cut her off, or we'll cut through it. There we go. There we go. We got them split. Like so. Next thing we're going to do is just kind of forge them down around, and then once we get everything else forged up, we're going to go ahead and take a file to them, make them look pretty nice, a lot cleaner. But next thing we're going to do is start forging our jaws and stuff where they got to go after we get those forged straight down, and then we're going to finally forge in our hood and then get on to the little detail work. We're bending these up into here. We're just going to go ahead and take this set of pliers I got. Go ahead and just forge them almost like 90. Just a little bit easier on doing this way. That takes a little bit less effort, kind of. Alright. Less likely to kind of screw things up, you know. Like that for now, it'll work for now. We'll true it up. Go ahead, close up our bottom jaw a bit. You know, if we can get them kind of flattened all the way, that'd be nice. But, alright. Shutting up, closing up our jaws a bit here. Esque. Just like kind of like that for now, just that way stuff gets out of the way. And now we're going to start forging in our hood finally. So we're going to go ahead, start forging this down and spread it out. Now we're going to go ahead, get to work on fixing up our jaws a bit here, straightening everything up, making it look a little more snake-like again, and then we're going to do some file work and stuff and finish shaping it. Give her some form over the horn here. Kind of like that. there. Getting a little bit of an angled twist to it, but that's not too bad. So we'll just go ahead and keep on forging up our form here. Alrighty guys, so we got the form put in here. She's forged up, she stands nicely. What I'm going to do next here is going to go ahead, take some files and stuff, file the teeth, or the fangs to shape. I left them big so that way they didn't break off while we were forging it. And then take a wire wheel to her, and go ahead, heat her up, and give her an oil dip or something like that probably. But yeah, that's how she looks so far. So I'll go ahead, chalk her up in the vise over here and start working on filing. Alrighty guys, so she's all filed up there. We got her fangs done. She's to shape. Now all we're going to do is get the wire wheel on a cordless drill real quick so that way you guys can see it. Buff down this whole thing real quick. Try to bust off some of that heavy scale from over forging it, just to try to give it like a little more reptilian kind of look to it. And then once that's all done, all we got to do is put oil on her so she won't rust, and that's it. Alright, let me go get a wire wheel and we'll be right back. Alright, we're just going to coat this with some boiled linseed oil. I gotta find a rag to wipe this down with, and I'll take, I'm just gonna do a real light coat on it, and then I'm gonna take a propane torch and just heat her up to bake it in. Alrighty guys, she's all finished up here. You see the teeth after we did all the filing, and then we heated up with the oil. The temper color showed through. It's a nice dark, like straw, almost purple color, contrasting on the black of the actual Cobra itself. I think looks nice. I do like the fact that I left the end of the wrench there. You know, it shows that it did come from a wrench. I got another one here. Yeah. We went from this to this. So, yeah, that's fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Always like, share, comment, and subscribe. And remember, guys, this is our 100th episode. So, if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing so far, remember, share it. Always comment. Let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for letting us get to 100. This wouldn't be none of this stuff would be possible without you guys. So, stick around as we keep growing, and we also just hit over 55,000 views total, so that's awesome. Alright guys, see you around next time. Remember, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Alright guys, see you later.